happy that we're on firm footing now, and you can expect us to, I was about to say me, but there's so many other people involved, churning out more and more excellent editions of this. This edition we have now, we hired a copy editor, so you won't find all those little flaky mistakes that you found in the earlier issues that I take all the personal responsibility for. I am not a copy editor, apparently. We're doing a few new things this year. Events like this, I don't know if word got out, but we're taking free submissions at all our events, and also the first week of our new submissions opening, which will start in August, on the 15th of August. Probably actually from the 15th till the end of August, we'll take free submissions. This is for people that just can't afford the $3 reading fee. And some people just have a thing against reading fees, and I can understand that. They mount up if you submit a lot. So we will be taking free submissions at the first week to 10 days of every reading cycle. That doesn't count contests. Speaking of contests, there are two that are going on right now. The Chester B. Hines Fiction Contest. The new prize this year is $1,000 instead of $750. Still 4,200 words. Our judge this year is Michael Knowles. Some of you might know him. He's affiliated with the Writers League of Texas. He's also multi-published. He teaches creative writing, and he's in America's Best New Mystery Stories, and several compilations that carry a lot of weight. We also have the Julia Darling Poetry Prize, Memorial Poetry Prize. Natalia, just a minute. Well, anyway, let me tell you a little bit more about it. It's $1,000 this year. Both the prizes also have a 2-year subscription to Do It Trope and a subscription to the Ocotillo Review, and you're published in the Ocotillo Review. Another thing we're doing, starting this October, we'll be putting in our first single author work. It's going to be a chapbook, a poetry chapbook. Carol Coffey Raposa, the 2018 Texas Poet Laureate, is going to be our judge for that. We scored. I'm pretty happy about that. Again, $1,000 prize, plus 20 free copies to the poet, and 20 more free copies that we will send to whatever prize or reviewing association you want to send this to. And however many copies we print, we'll negotiate with the winner depending on how many they think we can get rid of, and then we'll add a couple hundred on to that. I want to thank a few people. First, and most important, Malvern Books. They've supported us since the beginning. Now, those two hands, reach in your pocket and buy a book from Malvern Books. Of course, we'd love it to be on this table over here, but if that doesn't work, there's thousands of really unusual and wonderful books here that you won't find in a lot of bookstores. This is a very unique, I mean, at least look around, this is one of the most unique bookstores you'll ever see in your life. And thanks again to them for all the help they've given us. And I also need to thank the City of Austin and Do It Trope for sponsoring our organization. And one more little thing before we get started. If you write flash fiction, starting in the next cycle, we're going to let you have 1,000 words to play with instead of 500. So you can stretch it out a little if you need to. To be honest with you, I'm going to be looking for the 500 or less pieces, but I'm not the guy that chooses, so. Thank you for coming. First up, We're going to have Margie Roe. I'm not sure what she's going to read. Hopefully it'll be something that we published in the past, but I'm sure she brought something else too. And everybody that reads, it looks like we've got enough room to stretch it out a little bit to 5 or 7, maybe 8 minutes. Feel comfortable. So Margie.
Well, I wasn't sure what the protocol was, so I didn't bring anything from the last one, but I brought a couple of ones. One I wanted to read because I wanted to get it off my chest, and I thought this would be a good place to do it. You all know about a sestina. If not, Google it. It's a form that you do 6 words you use over and over in 6 stanzas with a little coda at the end. And the book I was reading said this was a good form to use for something you're obsessing about, that you kind of want to just get out of your system. So they're supposed to be in a certain pattern, so I tried to do the pattern. And it's 6 words or forms of those words. And I'll give you the 6 words, and maybe you'll even guess what I'm obsessing about before I tell you the title. Okay. Name, mean, again, lies, news, and afraid. Those are the 6 words that are going to be used over and over. And I'll kind of do a little tick every time I use that word, just in case you skip me. It's called Sestina in Trump time.
Yeah, there you go.
It began with his calling people names. You could tell from his jaw that he was mean. He kept chanting, America again, great again. And then he told us lies upon lies and called any fact against him fake news. And everyone close to him seemed vaguely afraid. Something about him made you afraid. Something that wasn't easy to name. Chaos, confusion, stupid claims he made in the news. Nothing he said seemed to mean anything logical. He actually lied for the fun of it with little tweets again and again. Some of us never wanted to see him again. The sight of him sickened us, made us afraid. Where did the way to oust him lie? We looked for leaders, scanned the names of strong people in public life who could counter his mean jibes and rants. We watched and read the mainline news. It was hard to sleep when the evening news reported his poison again and again. And so many efforts to count him didn't mean a bit. He just didn't seem to be afraid of anything any of us could name. And too many people believed his lies. The people around him began to lie down and quit. And faces we saw were often new. It was hard to keep straight their names. There was always a firing, resigning again. The Congress, the courts were cowards, afraid, distorting whatever the law should mean. Now our words are too often mean. How can we let our differences lie in peace? How can we stop being afraid of each other? And all of us trust the news, agreeing on facts, basic truths again. How can we quit calling each other names? This would mean we hear the good news that goodness lies in trusting each other again, of being no longer afraid of calling each other by our real names. I recommend that. It's so much better. And here's just one other, keep your time. This is called What the Keepers Keep. You could call me a housekeeper. It's my main occupation. It occupies me as I occupy the house, keeping furniture just so, the right window treatments, the dusting, the sweeping, table settings, bedding, I'm always trying to keep house. And there are other keepers, shopkeepers, gatekeepers, zookeepers, beekeepers, timekeepers, telling us when the time is up. I'd like to keep time just the way I keep house. Touch it, shape it, keep its beat. But I know, and you know, you can't keep time, not wild, swift, slippery time.